everyone, my name is Alekhya from Cybersecurity Department. So today we are going to discuss about Indian cyberspace. So first of all, what is cyberspace? So cyberspace is where the communication is done between the technologies, the people, the users and the services. The technology, the communication between the people like users and services and the technologies. So these are all together, we can say that it is the environment which is known as cyberspace. And how the cyberspace will be in Indian economy. Let us discuss about these details today. So the contents today we are going to cover are first one, what is Indian cyberspace and how it will be, and Indian cyber security and what are the impacts on economy of our economy, and what are the attacks on the economy of our country, and current laws and provisions to deal with these challenges. And next one, cyber attacks and defense in Indian cyberspace. So these are the topics today we are going to discuss. First one, Indian cyberspace. So Indian cyberspace, it was first born in 1975. So normally the internet, the cyberspace, it has already been roaming around the world, but in India, it came at the time of 1975 with the establishment of NIC. So NIC is nothing but National Informatics Center. So with an aim to provide government with IT solutions. So they mainly give the suggestions to the IT solutions. And we are having three networks that were set up between 1986 and 1988. So three networks that were set up between 1986 and 1988 to connect various agencies of government. So various agencies, nothing but like so many departments within the government. So these networks were Indonet. So that were connected to the IBM mainframe and installations that were made up to India's computer infrastructure, and NIC net. NIC net is nothing but NIC network. A national wide very small aperture, VSAT. National wide very small aperture aperture terminal network for public sector organizations, as well as to connect to the central government, to state government and district administrations. So like that, from central government with the state governments and district administrations. So the third network setup was IARE. So IARE is nothing but educational network. So educational and research network. So to serve the academic and research communities. So they mainly trying to develop the academic and research communities. So they have been developed these networks. So what are the networks? Indonet, NIC net and IARE net. And here, new internet policy of 1998, they paved the way for services from multiple internet service providers. So what they have covered the way, the services from multiple internet providers. This new internet policy of 1988, and which they gave boost to the internet user base grow from 1.4 million in 1999 to overcome 150 million by December 2012. So this new internet policy of 1988, it has covered the way. It has completely covered the way for services that is from multiple internet service providers, ISPs. And they gave boost to the internet users. They have been given the boost to the internet user base grow from 1.4 million in 1999 to overcome 150 million by December 2012. And here the exponential growth rate is attributed to increasing internet access through mobile phones and tablets. This is because the communication devices. And here the government is making a determined push to increase broadband penetration from its present level of about 6% of 1. So, and next one, the target here the target for broadband is 160 million households by 2016 under the National Broadband Plan. So, like that, the cyberspace is increasing exponentially in India. So exponentially, where in 1999 the users will be 1.4 million, where it has been increased to 150 million by December 2012. So the rapid increase is because of the communication devices that were connected to the internet. And next one, so India's cyber security and impact on the economy. So how the Indian cyber security is impacting on the economy of our country. So India is rapidly progressing in its digital goals with missions like Make in India and Digital India having positive across the economy. So it is giving its best. It's growing rapidly based on the digital goals to make the India digitally. So they're introducing the programs like Make in India, Digital India. So which the effect will be very positive across the economy to increase the economy. But its dependence on interconnected networks and systems. So that means that cyber security is a challenge. So it is like so they are trying to increase the economy. So but we are also has to face so many challenges in cyber security. So to secure our cyber security, and as one of the most attacked countries in cyber security, India's resilience in cyber security is safeguarding critical assets. So they're trying to safeguard their critical assets. So India has witnessed the organizations. So India has witnessed rapid digitalization in almost all spheres of public life. So in every aspect of public life, it is trying to witness the rapid digitalization. And the country has over 1.5 billion phones and more than 700 million internet users. And this number is growing rapidly. Exponentially, this number is growing. So the internet users are very drastically changing. And there is greater and easy access to financial services even for rural population. So it is very easy for the financial services for transactions of money or for receiving money through the banks. So it is becoming very easy. In rural populations also it is becoming very easy. And here missions like Make in India and Digital India, they are very creating very positive effect across the economy. So both the private sector and government agencies now they are providing digital service delivery mechanisms, creating a synergy of efforts. So the impact is impressive. So in 2021, India's UPI, Unified Payment Interface, we know our UPIs handled 39 billion transactions amounting to $940 billion. So which is more than 30% of country's GDP. So here in 2021 in India's UPI, so Unified Payments Interface, so where we can transact our transfer our money or receive our money through internet, that can be handled by 37 billion transactions. So 39 billion transactions has happened in 2021 through India's UPIs. So where $940 billions, so which is amounting to $940 billions more, which is more than 30% of the India's GDP. And in 2021, digital payment systems in India recorded a robust growth in 6.2% in volume. Nearly 6.2% in volume, the payments of the system has recorded completely in India itself. And such rapid digitalization has led to critical dependence on the resilience of interconnected systems and networks. So these were connected to the internet. So where we have to face so many cyber attacks. So this increase of transactions or dependency on the internet has also some vulnerability to the attackers. So where there might be some vulnerability will be where they can enter into our systems to take our data. So any successful cyber attack on a critical asset such as a powerful grid will have a multiplier effect. So if there is any cyber attack on a critical assets happen, so there is a multiplier effect on the system. So cripple communications, transactions, and even endangering the health and safety of citizens. So it may be effect on them also. And here, the government and private sectors, they are acutely aware of these threats and the capabilities and motivations of adversaries. So here, the government and private sectors, so they are acutely, they aware of these threats and vulnerabilities, the capabilities, the motivations of adversaries. And in the last decade, several concrete measures and steps has been taken to prevent, detect, and mitigate the ill effects of cyber attacks. So they're mainly concentrating on how to decrease that. So they're trying to concentrate several concrete measures, and they're taking some steps to prevent or detect, or they're trying to mitigate the risks in the cyber attacks. And next one, attacks. So what are the attacks in Indian cyberspace? So what are the attacks? So we are having n number of attacks. N number of attacks. So what are the attacks that were happened till date? So where it impacted the economy? So let us discuss now. So here the attacks are nothing but, so it may be on the digital data, or it may be on the financial data, anything that affects the economy, that affects the financial sector. So India is already one of the most attacked countries in cyberspace. So in cyberspace itself, India is the most attacked country. So many cyber attacks will happen in our country. So in May 2021, so one case was noted, the national airline Air India. They have reported a cyber attack in which the data of 4.5 millions of its customers across the world were compromised. So across the world, 4.5 millions of its customers. So that data has compromised in 2021 May. So which is where it is the national airline. So it is which affects the Indian economy. And in October 2019, there was an attempted cybercrime on the Kundankulam nuclear power plant. So someone they have tried to attempted some cyber attack on the Kundankulam nuclear power plant. So it is also bad impact on the economy. And in February 2022, a suspected ransom attack. Some ransom attack briefly knocked out the management information systems (MIS) at Jawaharlal Nehru Port Container Terminal (JNPCT) on the 5 marine facilities in India's top container gateway of JNPT, Navaseva. So they have some ransom attack has happened. Some ransom attack has happened here. So where in February 2022, some briefly knocked out the management MIS. So management information systems is where the data, so much used data, like customers data or any data, any users data, other big bodies data. So everything will be managed over there. So that was attacked by the ransom attack. So where it happened in Jawaharlal Nehru Port Container Terminal. So one of one of 5 marine facilities in India's top container gateway of JNPT. So that is also known as Navasheva. And according to 2021 CrowdStrike Global Security Attitude Survey. CrowdStrike Global Security Attitude Survey. So they have conducted by research firm Vancer Bourne. So almost 3/4 of India's corporates were hit by the ransom attack. So it is very dangerous attack that was happened on 2021. So where almost 3/4 of India's corporates were hit by the ransom attack in 2021. So a claim the Indian government has denied, quoting lack of evidence of actual compromise. So these are the attacks that were happened and affect the Indian economy. And let us see the cyber laws and provisions to deal with these challenges. So like increasing with the technologies, increasing with the attacks, so there is more challenges that has to be faced by the Indian economy through the cyberspace or cyber security. So India has taken several legislative and organizational measures to bolster its cyber defense and effectively respond to cybercrime. So for that, they are having 2 legislations. So first one, the Information Technology Act 2000. So it provides the legal framework for addressing cyber crimes and cyber attacks. And here criminal countermeasures include the use of this act along with the Indian Penal Code. So we are having Information Technology Act 2000 and Indian Penal Code. So it is in 1988, Indian Penal Code. And administratively, the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology (MIT) is responsible for cyber security. So they are also responsible for cyber security. And here the computer emergency response team set in an office within MIT is the nodal agency for dealing with the cyber security threats. So what are they? So emergency response team set in an office within MIT. So these are the nodal agencies for dealing with the cyber security threats. And here CERT-in is also arguments that security related defenses of Indian internet domain. And here several other government agencies were involved in dealing with cyber security and allied issues. So the issues that were related to the cyber security. So other governments also, they are trying to involve with these dealings. And here the National Cyber Security Council Secretariat is the central coordinating body for cyber security and internet governance. So what are the National Security Council Secretariat which is the central coordinating body for all the agencies. And here the National Critical Information Infrastructure Protection Center, NCIIPC, National Critical Information Infrastructure Protection Center on cyber threats to critical information infrastructure has been very successful. And India's national cyber policy 2013 is up for the overhaul on a new national cyber security policy, which will be announced in the near future. And here the Cyber and Information Security Division C&IS, so of the Ministry of Home Affairs, is also concerned with the cyber security and cybercrime. It additionally oversees the implementation of National Information Security Policy and the guidelines in NISPG, and has a cyber crime wing, cyber security wing, information security wing, and a continuous monitoring unit. So these are all also involved in NISPG. And here the National Cyber Crime Coordination Center 14C, so established by the Ministry of Home Affairs. So that was established by the Ministry of Home Affairs, acts as a nodal point in the response against cybercrime by coordinating with state policy forces across the country. It also coordinates implementation of mutual legal assistance treaties (MLAT) with other countries. And in response to Supreme Court directions in 2018, Prajwal case, and identifying the need to create a mechanism for online reporting of cyber crimes. So then they came to know, so online reporting of cyber crimes is also important. A home ministry that has begun in India-wide cybercrime reporting portal. As here, this is the portal which allows citizens to report cyber crimes even anonymously. So this is the what it is. It is the portal for reporting our cyber crimes through online. And next one, cyber attacks and defense in Indian cyberspace. So in the year 2020, CERT-in handled so nearly 1,158,208 incidents, so which included website intrusion and malware propagation, malicious code, phishing, distributed denial of service attacks, web page defacements, unauthorized network scanning or probing activities, ransomware attacks, data breach and vulnerability services. So these number of incidents were happened in 2020 year itself. So with continuous effective improvement, India has moved up to 37 places to be ranked at 10th in the Global Cyber Security Index 2020 GUI. So, and according to the report by the International Telecommunication Union, and each country is assessed along with 5 pillars. So, what are they? Legal measures, technical measures, organizational measures, capacity development, and cooperation measures, and then aggregated into a overall score. So, for this, each country is assessed along with these 5 pillars. So, they are trying to make these 5 pillars as a safeguards. So, what are they? Legal measures, technical measures, organizational measures, capacity development, and cooperation measures. And next one, this has been catching steam. So in 2022, CERT-in mandated compulsory reporting of all cyber attacks by government and other entities within 6 hours. So if there is anything happen, that has to be reported within 6 hours. So on the business side, India's companies are technologically advanced. India's companies are very technically advanced and use the latest tools and techniques for the protection of their assets. And Indian businesses, especially in the fintech sector, are fully compliant with the international frameworks and certifications applicable to the sector. So these include NIST, GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation, PCI DSS, ISO 27001 and others. So these include these. But mostly the tools are developed overseas and are expensive. So it is therefore essential for India to innovate and conduct researches and development domestically. So to create affordable, effective homegrown solutions for the threats it faces. And India has the talent where a large and steady pool of high quality of IT and cyber security professionals. So it is having high quality of IT and cyber security professionals. So what are the recommendations? To improve the cyber security posture of the nation and its assets, a whole of nation approach must be followed. So this requires a comprehensive national risk assessment in line with the criticality of Indian assets and capabilities of the adversaries. It must be done. So how it can be done? By engaging stakeholders and creating a trusted information sharing mechanism. Only the trusted information mechanism can be create the stakeholders trust our organizations, and a clear governance structure for organizations mandated with cyber security and cyber management with a proper mandated clarified roles and responsibilities of different bodies within the organization. So should be encouraged to take stock of existing policies, practices and capabilities. So these are the recommendations. And stakeholders also, including different state and central government departments, law enforcement and even corporates should also be engaged through a wide consultation and information sharing mechanism to create baseline security benchmarks and test them by organizing regular security drills, so thereby augmenting incident response capabilities. So they're trying to make use of the incident response capabilities. And the government, so here the government must act as a facilitator and create a public-private partnership and lay adequate stress on user awareness and education. Most importantly, privacy and security should be balanced while handling cybercrime and fostering. So R&D, research research and development to maintain a position of domain in the cyberspace. So these are the references we have taken. So today we have discussed what are the topics we have discussed. So first of all, what is Indian cyberspace? And next one, India's cyber security and impact on the economy. So we are having so many attacks that were impacted on the economy of our country, and different types of attacks that were happened in 2020, 2021 like that. And what are the current laws and provisions to deal with these particular challenges when attacks happen, and cyber attacks and defense in cyberspace. Indian cyberspace, where it was born in 1975, and the three networks were set up between 1986 and 1988. What are the networks? Indonet, so which was connected to the IBM Prime installations, and the NIC net. So NIC net is nothing but it is one of the network for national like India's computer infrastructure, and national wide very small aperture terminal VSAT network for public sector organizations, as well as to connect to the central government with the state governments and district administrations. And the third one is ERNet. So what is ERNet? Education and research network. So it is mainly to serve the academic and research communities. So like that. And here another important point is internet user grow from 1.4 million in 1999 to over 150 million by December 2012. So nearly after 13 years, nearly the exponential increase of internet users has been happened. And these are the impacts on economy according to Indian cyber security. So where it is in India's resilience in cyber security is for safeguarding critical assets, and the country has over 1.15 billion phones, so which is more than 700 billion internet users. So the number is growing rapidly day by day. And another important thing, the Indian UPIs, Unified Payment Interface, they are handling 39 billion transactions from $940 billion. So which is more than 30% of the country's GDP. And next one, attacks. So what are the attacks? In May 2021, 4.5 millions of customers across the world in Air India has compromised the personal data of the customers. So it is one attack, and in October 19, the attack was happened on Kundakulam nuclear power plant. And in 2022, so some ransom attack has happened in these particular systems. So like that, these attacks are there. And what are the current laws? So it is very important that the Information Technology Act and the Indian Panel Act, based on this two legislations, the sections has been declared, and these are the recommendations. So these are the references for the presentation. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.